The game is thought not to have a necessary message of morale to give. You can do whatever you want. Practically, you can be whoever you want in this game. It usually don't give clear victory rules. I say you why, because according to what I see is the rule of the game, to win, you will use a certain type of strategy and create a certain type of society. Our society, how it describes how you win in life. For example, the Protestant society says if you die in your bed with everybody weeping around and rich, it means you led a good life. All right, another society might say if you die fighting the enemy with value, you led a good life. So also in this case, we don't give immediately, first instance, a rule to win, but it's more like, according to what you want to play, you give a morale. Then, well, we set a situation, and I'm going to tell you what is the situation we're going to play today, the first round, and I will see what happens, more or less. What do we have? We have the board. I explained the board. I'll say it again fast. This is the world that is connected. So everything that is on the triangle has water, electricity, internet connection, sewer, infrastructure. So if I have my land and I decide to put my land on the infrastructure, I have expenses, but I have big facilities. So the land of the infrastructure that I put on the infrastructure pay taxes in the game. And I'll tell you more about it. Then, if I decide to put the land out of the infrastructure, I can. Let's say that it costs less, it's more available, it has more problems, but I might be able to solve it. So I just put it outside of the thing. If I have two lands that are attached or connected in any ways, it means I can pass matter from one place to other without the need of logistics. If they are far away, I can calculate logistics. I can simulate logistics if it's important in the game. So I can say that this is 1, 2, 3, and 4, okay, for example. So this is covered. On the grid, off the grid. Contact, contact. Two in contact of the grid makes their own grid. Okay, it's a mesh, what we call a mesh. So it's a unit. So we can simulate a lot of stuff. Then we have the land. On the land you can build. You're going to build a way to sustain yourself. To build, you have the Play-Doh. So for example, if you want to show that this land is yours, you put some black on it. While doing the game, you create, I don't know, a horse racing circuit. Then you make it look like a horse if you are artistic oriented, or you just to remember. It's that possibility. Thank you very much. Then what we have to play with, we also have the elements. The elements are thought like this. This is the procurement. If I want to make growth of flowers, I need, for example, a coverage, and we call it a serra, glass house. And maybe I need water, and maybe I need land. So to establish this, I have to pay a certain amount of money, and I have to be able to say, okay, this is the procurement, that's what I need. First phase. Then there is the production is, let's say, the second phase, the structure, and then eventually I can have a 2.0. Another thing. If my procurement can be divided by two things in circular economy, I can simulate it, putting it like this, and then we will say how to do these things. I'm not going to explain you a lot of things because we'll see it while we do it. Some problem? Okay. Then, of course,
这个游戏规则，然后我大概提点几个，所以这个就是土地，所以等一下游戏进行的时候，他担任的是一个主人的角色，然后就是你首先会就是你要购买这样的土地，然后你们因为他就是用每一个粘土它可能就是一个角色，现在人比较多，可能你就会组队进行，然后你就是用那个粘土去标示你的土地。这样子，然后你可以选择说，你买了这个土地，你发展的设施，你要不要放在这个上面去建设，或者是你就只是让它留在下面。然后我觉得可能比较不太容易理解的是这一个，就是这个你可能你买了这个土地，你之后他玩的时候，你可能要说他会问你说你想要发展什么，然后所以第一个的时候他会依据你想要发展的，他会说是一个策略，或是你就是一个策略，他会给你一个最基础的。一个像是什么样子的运转的功能，然后接着是它是可以往上叠加的，就是例如说，你可能你想要我们上次要干嘛？我们上次要种大麻，那你可能最基本你可能有了一个要用的大麻田，但是然后这个大麻田它每一轮的时候它会可以赚钱，所以它会再发旗子，旗子它其实会代表钱或是代表污染。然后每一轮你就是可以掷骰子，知道说你的这个田可以就是赚多少钱。那接下来你也可以，你有钱就可以申请你的设备，所以例如说你可以有一个大麻加工厂，所以下一次你再加上去的时候，你的生产力可能会提高，你在下一轮的时候你会拿到的钱可能就会比较多。这样，然后这个游戏基本上呢，它其实就是透过你们参与，它其实会反映某一个社会，然后它并没有一个像大富翁一样的固定赢的规则，它最后会去说明，然后认为说。谁是赢家？但是重点是过程当中，你们每一组会反映出一种策略，然后他会从这一些策略里面去尝试去分析它反映的人格特质或者什么之类的。
Good.
Exactly this.
Exactly that. And then we have the shadow. That means we have 2 money for this game that I borrow from your beautiful game Go. And of course, now we're going to choose which one is which. And we have 2 banks. Now, what happens? I'll tell you. Let's first start with one thing that is necessary. So, volunteer. You, okay, check. Okay, this is the black, so this means that this is the money that simulates entropy.
Okay.
Destruction of environment, bad karma, you name it, entropy. You produce a phone, this is everything you have to do to produce it that has to be sent in the world. And this is money as we know it, credit, or whatever you want to call it. Let's say this time it came out the yin and the yang thing of the situation. This is the bank of the big game. That is not us, it's the big game that is outside. This is the local bank. So everything that happens in the game affects the local bank first, and then eventually affects the big bank. This is also why this is so much, and this depends on you. We're going to make a tour. Other elements that we have is the fortune that is divided in 2 things. We can play 2 types of fortune. One is in the events, and so we throw a dice to know what happens, or it's a distribution of events, so you move the wheel. I will explain better while we play. And so, there is money. Each one of you, to start with this game, because of his fortune and misfortune, will have 1 dice of 6 of white and a dice of 6 of black, because we are all born under the sun, but we are not born equal. So, Professore, throw twice this. Twice. Okay. This is the white. Not very rich family, unfortunately. And this is the bad karma, that it's a 5 of bad karma. Wow. So he has, yeah, I'm sorry, but misfortunate son in this game. You please also throw 3 of white and 1 of black. Much more fortunate. 1 white and 3 black. 4, and 3.
好，我解释一下，就是呢，白色就是好的，那个好有点像是说，它有点像是我们定义可以交换的一个货币，所以等一下你要买土地或者是你要去发展什么样子的设施功能，都是用白色去做交换。黑色就是不好的，它其实会设定不同的游戏的时空背景，那有时候可能是污染或者它是疾病，然后是你们要消除的。然后基本上游戏到最后就是每个人他黑色跟白色抵消，如果你还有剩下白色的，就是我只能说你赢面比较大，不代表就是必然是获胜。然后解释一下这个就是，所以它的放在这2个黑色盘子里面，就是你们的算是 local 的银行，或者说你们这一个社群它会共有的。然后等一下会有很多种情况，所以这个东西就是，例如说假设先解释多一点，因为你们很容易遇到，就是说，因为它等一下还会有个机制是你可以说我要有议会，然后议会可以制定一些你们这一群人想要共同它的那个消除的比例有不一样，有一些就只是从你这边拿掉丢到 local 去，那有一些是整个重新销毁。如果重新销毁的话，就会回到他刚刚所说的这个更大银行，那这个更大银行就会跟你们就是没有关系。
2 and 1. Three and 2. So, the situation of this game that we're going to play today is the following. We are in this town, and at a certain point they want to make an experiment. They've taken you to develop a place that was empty. There was a big field and a big palace in the field, and got broken down to pieces, depleted. We don't know exactly what's inside, but they said to you, you can do whatever you want with this space. We are not going to bother you. You can do whatever you want of it, but you have to sustain yourself. So, to help you out, we are going to give you the possibility to get a free space in this field and to construct whatever you want in it. It's a field, it has water, it has grid, it has a part that has no grid, so let's do it. There is a part that is no grid, it's here. And the other has a sewerage and more or less work, and you can do whatever you want in it. The first 2 rounds, you're not going to pay any taxes. So we're not going to tax you for the first 2 rounds. Okay? Now, what else are the elements of the game is very simple. You can construct whatever you want. So if you want a shop, if you want something, etc., you tell me what you want to construct, and I'm going to try to model how much it's going to cost, how it's going to work. You have to think one thing very important. This experiment is about sustainability. So who is going to win? Is going to win at the end, is going to win the one who has more white, unless once we have bought all the blacks away. So it means that if at the end, if I have 2 white and 3 blacks, I take out the 2 whites and the 2 blacks, I just have 1 black. Okay? So we will balance at the end of the game. But also, if we see that there is too much black in the local area, so if you develop the area in a way that creates too much pollution, at a certain point the government can say, stop, it's not going to work. Let's say if there are more than 20 blacks in here, you lost, collectively. Yeah. What you can do, each turn, you can decide to develop or to call an assembly. So, these are the elements. This is the board. Physical elements goes on the board. You have to survive and invest. And you can also call an assembly. To survive, you have to pay taxes, but we said the first 2 rounds you don't have to pay taxes. To invest, you have to invent something and have a land. You all have got a land to start with by the master. I gave you a land to. You can also buy some more land. When you have more white, you can buy land as well. You just have to ask me. And you have to invent some production means. So this is all the rules.
所以刚刚就是重点最后那一条，就是每一轮轮到你的时候，你有2个选择，你可以选择你要继续投资，就是你要增加你的设备，提升性能，或者是你可以呼叫议会。那呼叫议会就是可以共同制定一些律法，然后所有人都要遵守。但是既然叫做议会，就是会要经过投票。
This is very important. You can call an assembly when it's your turn. You don't play the investment, but you call an assembly. The assembly is the assembly that rules the whole world. So you can decide anything on the assembly. You can produce a law that says, we want basic income, and the local authority has to give you basic income. Okay? So you can, but you have then to rule the assembly. Is that clear?
Yeah, I already explained.
You just explained it.
Yep.
She reads my mind. She's generation 2. Okay, so, Professor, what do you want to do? Would you like to do? Yes, procurement. Yes. In what would you like to invest? You tell me first. Tell me first. And I tell you how much it's going to cost.
那就建个厂吧。
什么厂？它会要很明确的。就你想，我觉得你们可能想说，你们中期想要发展什么样子的产业，然后因为它是一级一级就是增资上去的，所以你不会一开始就得到你想要。
有道理，那就种一片茶田嘛，可以吧
Okay, he want to have tea farm.
Okay, we have a tea farm. So, tea farm goes in the realm of farms. So the first thing, tea farm, every time you want to plant tea, you have to put some work. Let's say they do it in a family way. So the tea farm, let me go back. I explain you back here. So the tea farm, every time you use it, you have to pay, let's say, produces 1 unit of waste that I embed like this, and you have to put 1 unit of energy. This is your tea farm. It costs you 1 white and 1 black to build, and it gives you, every time you use it, 1 dice of 6 of white. So it's 1d6. So every time you're going to use this, you now pay. So you pay your white and your black, and every time you use it, you can throw 1 dice, and this is how much white your farm will produce. Is that clear? Next one. What would you like to do? You want to build a factory. Of what? Electric. So let's say that in the situation, you don't have land enough to build a factory yet, but you can start with a shop, kind of, that builds electronics. Yeah, we start small in this. It's the size of a family business so far. Then you have to build. Of course, we can also play bigger scenario, but this scenario is family business. You can put up a computer repair shop or let's say a design shop that designs electronics, like something like that. That's the type of business you can create.
就是说，快递自己个人能做的事情。
你们想要发展什么样类型的商品？
他本来说想建一个电厂，然后呢，Fred 就说这个一上来没什么大的，
依据实际的能力嘛。
因为它现在有一些背景条件的设定，所以它的现在设定是比较小，所以刚刚那个电厂就规模上比较不太符合。
你们想象你们像是一个家庭，它的场景设定是家庭，所以用家庭的氛围去想。
Look, very simple. I'll do it for you. I'll do it for you. You are going to build for yourself a electronic design little fabric. And this little fabric, it's run by you. And every time you run it, you take one energy and you have to take 2 blacks because it pollutes a lot, but also gives you a lot of money when you run it good. So it will give you 2d6 of yield. So when you put inside energy and you take enough black, you're going to get 2 dice of 6 of yield. And we call it electro fabric. Now you have it. You have to pay me 1 white, and you take 1 black. The white goes here.
Electric fabric 什么意思？
Yeah, electric fabrication.
就是小型作坊、五金作坊、五金作坊。
好吧。
So I did what you want. Please. Yeah.
We want a fabric of
Okay, we start with the food.
Food.
Necessity.
So you start with a restaurant.
Farming maybe.
Ah, farming. Okay. So you get a farm. What type of farm you want?
We're not in Germany, so we don't grow potatoes. Yeah, we I don't know. Can we say a little bit of everything? Or it has to
Let's say a garden, a fruit garden.
okay, fruit garden. Sounds nice. Very dreamy.
So this is your fruit garden. To make it, you have to give me, well, a bit of energy. You need a bit of energy. No, this you take. You don't give. You take. Yeah.
Yeah. So once we make that, we use a white and we go.
Yeah, no, I made a mistake. I have to give you 1 black. It was my mistake because the black is the currency that impacts the environment. You're very right. I am a bit chaotic. So next one, what would you like to do? No. You have to decide. It's a game. You have to decide.
对，你会消耗了2次，但是同时这个
Ah, transportation company. Very good. So you buy a little car. Okay. Or a little car or a bicycle? Car. So electric or combustion?
摇产这个数量就是你的。
electric.
So electric car, okay. So easy. Cart, electric, 1d6. Okay. So you have an electric car. Every time you use it, you have to put 1 white of electricity. You have to take 2 blacks from me because this is the pollution that has to be spent to create the car. But you have not to pay me anything because the government now subsidizes the cars. It's a very enlightened government that's trying to, give you free land, little means of existence. It's almost a socialist government. Huh? Strange. Oh, so.
Could I open a vintage shop to
sell second-hand clothes.
Ah, second-hand clothes shop. So we open a shop, vintage shop, and vintage shop you put in a little bit of energy and gives you 1d6 of income. Now, please start to construct your thing on your triangle and put it on the map because that's important. Please. So you can put it on the map.
I want.
Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful. So I remind you, if you want to have your shop or activity on the grid, from the next round you're going to pay one of taxes. If you put it off the grid, so without sewer, electricity, etc., you're not going to pay taxes.
它才会有生产力，你才会能够按照你上面的。
就是下面我就不需要交税是吧？然后上面我就需要交税在他们。
但是也意味着就是你没有生产，就是你不会获利。
就是在下面不会获利。
哪里是下面？
下面就是没有放在格子上，上面就是在那个。
上面要交税。
对，然后之后它会要收税。
放在哪里没有区别吗
Where do you want it?
但是它会是有一个相对。
Ah, beautiful. Looks like sushi.
With only wasabi.
Where do you want it? Here is okay. It's your.
So,
you have to tell me what you would like to do.
A technical school.
A technical school.
Yeah.
So a school. School, you put energy in it, gives very little money, but you get subsidies if you make a school, so you still get to 1d6 of yield. This is it, and you don't produce any black. Actually, because I'm very enlightened, when you use the school, you also throw a dice, and you have 60% of chance to burn one black, because it might be that somebody from the school does something very nice, and anyway you're spreading culture, so the school burns black.
Okay.
So every time you can throw another dice and it evaporates one of your blacks eventually.
Okay.
Good. So we finished the first round.
因为他刚刚讲说，如果你们都
Yes, you need to pay me.
他可能就游戏就会终止。所以他设计，因为他觉得学校是一个很好的机制，所以他让他有可以燃烧掉，就是把污染彻底从你们这个社区排除的机会。换言之说，他掷骰子的60%呢，就是假如说他可以消除掉2个黑色的，那他就可以有2个黑色彻底从你们社区移除，他就不会集中再到那里。
Now, every round in the beginning is only one time a round because I decided so, that I'm the master. We're going to use the wheel. The wheel is useful to add confusion to the game. Yeah. So on this wheel, I said there are various distribution of events. There is invent, there is enjoy, there is grand jeu events, that are events that come from outside, from the universe. Yes. Or there is local events, that is very amazing, very funny. I have very funny ones ready for you on this game. So, now, this time, please spin the wheel. Okay. It's immediately a universe event. So, let's see what the universe says. The universe events are thrown by the master, of course, because it's always God that does this kind of stuff. So I have to do, yeah, no, it's on a dice of 20, so 12, my favorite. No, I don't. I don't know. I'm just bullshitting. What? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Basic income. Oh, oh, you're very lucky. Very lucky. So the government decides that because of the general poverty, will allow everybody to every round to get a basic income in white of let's say how much. It's half of this, so hope that I make a 6. 2, so 1 for each. This time is 1 basic income, basic income, basic income, basic income, basic income, basic income.
Big promise.
Yes, half. Yeah, it's from 1 to 3. I throw a dice of 6, make a half. I'm smart, huh? So, this is about it. So you got your basic income. You remember you can always make a law, calling the assembly. So if you have an idea,
But only at your turn. Only when you.
when is your turn. What would you like to do? Do you want to use your tea farm and see how much tea you made?
要我再建上一集吗？还是？
你有要叫议会吗？如果没有叫议会，就是继续投资。
This you can always do, eh?
You want invest?
Wait, also, you take 1 black, you give me 1 white, and you throw the dice. And you make 2 whites. Then, if you want, you can do something else. For example, I don't know, the tea farm, or get something else, I don't know.
我是要投。
No, this is done.
就是每一轮轮到你的时候，你现在这个白色的，它就会照上面，例如说，你可以转，就是掷骰子，然后赚到多少的那个白色的纸，然后这个结束之后呢，你就可以有2个选项，一个就是继续增资，增资就是例如说，你可能可以再继续发展，因为它刚刚上面有说这个是可以继续加叠，或者是你可以呼叫议会，这2个只可以选一个。
那继续，我刚才已经继续投过一次了。还可以再投一再。
不是，因为刚刚他只是照着你这上面，因为他是跟你说，就是你可以掷骰子，知道说你的茶田这一轮你可以赚多少白色的。然后这个不是投资，所以这个结束之后是基本你应得的。然后你如果现在要选择投资，那他就会问你说，那你想要就是增加什么样子的设备或者什么样子的技术，
或者开会。
或者
对，或者是要呼叫议会。
Okay. If now you had, for example, another idea, you could try, but your time is over, so I pass for the next person. What would you like to do?
它会有很多规则会随时制定，所以呢，就是。
我可不可以选择去除污染？因为我好多黑。
没有，来不及了，你时间已经过了，已经换下一个。
下一个。
我们要转盘。那个转盘是为什么要转？
没有，转盘是他可以决定的，就是想要就是把这个游戏搞得更复杂一点，就是增加一些意外的因素。每个人都会轮过，但是是由他决定，每一轮都会有。
Yes, you get your 2 blacks. You give me the white. I'll put it here. And you throw twice the dice, so you get 1 white for this, but you have to throw twice.
再来一次。
This time the shop is starting to make money. Money. Next.
Oh, so he doesn't call.
Yeah.
He couldn't act anymore for assembly or upgrade.
No. No, you can develop. Yes,
Yeah,
if you want to do. Sorry.
就你们要说，你们可以想，就是你先决定，如果你要继续发展，先跟他说，然后他会问你说你会想要做什么样子的发展，然后他会再写一个给你。所以你要自己想你要怎么样发展，这是策略。
Do you want to buy more land and do another shop, or you might want to, for example, you have an electric design shop, you want to also build the web design shop. The same shop, so you can multiply your electronics. I don't know. You make your own mind, invent something, and I try to model it.
想发展一个回收站。
Recycle.
Recycle. Recycle of electronics. Very good idea. Yes, you can do that. He puts up a facility that he can take all the electronics and create and recycle it and make material. This will eat black.
Yeah.
So every time he wants to use it, it costs 1 white. And it takes 1 dice of 6 of black away. Huh? And this will cost you 3 white. So I take 3 whites, I'll put it here, but it burns black. Ah, by the way, if he finishes his own black, he can also start to pay or to get your black, and you can pay him. You can always deal between yourself. Even if I'm playing with other, you can deal between yourself.
只有它上面写可以消除黑色是有能力可以消除的，其他人是没有办法的。但是他们的可能很快就会消化完自己的污染，所以但是他们还是每一局轮到他的时候会有能力可以再继续有就是除污这样子的能力。这时候你们之间可以进行彼此的交易，然后这个交易是可以随时进行的，不需要喊停。那例如说，假设说他可以说，那你帮我消掉2颗黑色的，那我就付给你1颗白色，可以进行像是这样子的交易。随时随时哦。
那它几乎就是可以无限量的消黑，那
它就是每一轮它就是都可以消黑，但是有些人可能是它是掷骰子嘛，因为像它是消掉骰子的60%，那他就会看他有多少的消黑的能量，能耐，然后就会跟你们去谈。
Sorry, just a question. Does that mean that it's not an upgrade of the original facility, but it's
no, you're right. It's actually an upgrade of the facility.
No, it just means that you don't have to use the 2 at the same time, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. It's an upgrade, so I made a mistake. But luckily, I can amend it. Yeah. No, this was the fabric.
Yeah.
And this is the, yes, this is the electro recycle, and this burns plus 1d6 of black. And this, I delete it. Good. Thank you very much for your observation. Do you want to keep that off the grid?
I wanted to ask, by putting it on, does it mean using a move, or it's just a decision?
No, it's a decision. If you want that thing on the grid, you put it on the grid. Otherwise, you put it here or you keep it there. It means that it's off the grid. If it's on the grid, pay taxes, but you have electricity, internet, sewer, water, etc. If it's off the grid, you have to have all that. Having that you have a garden, a fruit garden, maybe you can also run the fruit garden off the grid, so you don't really need that. So, throw the dice. You have to, okay, you have to give me, you take 1 of waste, you give me 1 of electricity, and I give you back 2 for the what you earned. So you earn 2 practically. The thing is that the white, the 2 came from outside, from the universe, and the 1 came in the local economy. It's still in the local economy.
Ah, so that when I roll 3, I don't get 3.
No, because you need to give me 1 for running the facility.
But we did give that 1 already.
Yeah, so I took it, but the 1 that you give me doesn't go here, goes here. Next. Ah, no, what do you want to do?
Can we still upgrade?
Sì. Excuse me. No problem. Aspasia, take over my role. Take over my role. One moment, 1 turn. Che cazzo ci devo scrivere qua per farlo? Ah, aspetta, questo qui lo vuoi mettere a Daus? No, this was...
Viene Square Channel.
Sì, ma se tu metti invece che send receive payload ci metti il
Ok.
ah scusa, aspetta, come cazzo
no,
è?
era lì,
No, era
lì. Entire message.
entire message
Ok.
update and he asks you il canale.
Sì.
Puoi mettere sia DNS query channel che cancelletto, prende tutto.
Così.
Sì, dovrebbe funzionare.
Però questo va bene? Questo andava bene?
Era 1888,
No, no, magari è 1880. Questo lo posso controllare pure qua e qua. 1888 qua mi dà e qua invece 1880. No, è 1888.
Ok.
Perché infatti se faccio così è disconnetted.
Quindi no, adesso è su 1880, ok.
Ok. E ti ricordi qualcos'altro che c'è da fare?
No, questo dovrebbe funzionare già, è MQTT, no?
No, è WebSocket.
Ah, il
tu
WebSocket,
usi-
no, io uso MQTT.
Ah, ok. MQTT,
MQTT stessa cosa, sulla porta giusta di MQTT.
topic questo,
Topic quello.
sure. Ok. Auto generated, screen session, add. No, c'era qualcos'altro? Security, niente.
No, quello niente.
Topic, leave blank to disable
Forse
first
il topic è cancelletto?
Sì. Update. Topic è già cancelletto qua, quindi magari non faccio danno.
Comunque guarda, ci sta su node-red.org, c'è il
Ma
tutorial.
già, ma mo a sapere che è quello, che è MQTT, già mi hai dato un...
Ti sta arrivando
Sì.
roba? Ok.
Grazie.
Prego.
Bella.
Sì, ma infatti li lascio fare.
Qua in te ci sarebbe un po' bisogno con Node-RED, se ti voglio far vedere Node-RED, perché io mi sto rendendo conto che di Node-RED non ci capisco un
Non capito un
cazzo.
cazzo, vabbè. Guarda, qui sotto c'hai gli oggetti già pronti. no?
Sì, mo lo so, ma già, mo almeno mi arrivo.
Se vuoi inserire altre cose, se vai qua su deploy, te lo dico in inglese così magari segui. If you go on deploy, you can, for example, take and you want to insert, here, insert a new blocks. You can go on manage palette. That takes a while to find if you don't know, because manage palette is not intuitive. This tells you what there is, but you can also go on install and, for example, search if there is a Telegram node.
Ma Telegram è bloccato.
And this will give you a Telegram or IRC.
That's handy, because you program your own
IRC.
Telegram bot. But this is,
And this is going to.
I'm using .NET Core because that's what I'm using and I could try using.
okay.
So this tells you, yes, there is a node already contributed that makes IRC.
Yeah, there are things for
But there are also things for Arduino.
So this is link,
So that GPIO that controls Arduino. There are also things high level, for example, Watson, because IBM wants you to use Watson. So yeah, sort of artificial intelligence. So you see, Watson IoT, Watson device, etc. It's nice because you find an enormous amount of stuff already made that at the end is just a little block.
for prototyping, you know. Then you give it an engineer for production, but it's for prototyping.
Then a thing that is interesting is also if you have to teach, you have blocks that do HTTP, TCP, UDP, and you send just the object to it. Then you have the function. Here you just write your own code, like for example some logic. You want that this goes and becomes a logic, and it's JavaScript. It's horrible. It's really horrible. But for example, there is also other little language you can use. or you can use his own logic blocks.
Perfetto. Guarda, ora abbiamo l'input, quindi già posso
Plus,
vedere un po' di
you have CSV that translates CSV to other things. You have, for example, open the stuff for the weather, open weather, you put the API. I mean, it's already integrated in a lot of if this then that buttons that are there. So you can create very fast a prototype of ideas. Yep.
Getting some excellent scenarios. And,
great.
Excellent scenarios, and we're going to pick one, and we're going to try to then put one on mobile.
Fantastic.
Really excellent scenarios.
Document. Wait, I make a picture also with you guys.
Great. Okay, guys, let's have a picture.
We gave one, and then we roll three, so we got two back. But there's something to do with this double banking.
No, I think that is once you give for every round to sustain your thing,
Yeah.
and then you throw a dice to see what you get.
Yeah, and then you get 4 afterwards.
Sorry?
So if you roll 4, you will get 4.
Yeah, but because you had to sustain the things, you have to pay one to be able to sustain it, right? Because you have some cost.
So her question is, you already took one.
Yes, because it's 4 you get, 1 I take, so it's 3 left, no?
And
It's 4 minus 1.
the 4 is we can get, but the one is we should pay.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
And this one is we should pay, so you need to get a score, right?
Yeah, but
If you get 4 and she already took 1, so you get 3.
I took a 1 already.
But it's not true. That's why we were confused.
I didn't get.
So if we start with 2 and we say, I give you 1 now and you give me 4, in return you just give me 3 in total, it's okay. But you actually took the 1 at the beginning.
Did I? Okay, sorry.
So that's why she was
Okay.
But that's the same for us.
But look, God the master also makes them.
By the way, they passed the law, the assembly.
What law? What law?
Every time, because I have the farm, every round, when they throw the dice, if more than 2, it means they take 1 black from everybody because they provide food, and 2 from them. But this is only if from the 6 if it's 2, more than 2.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. It's a law.
By the way, we forget to do this, I think, the round thing.
Yeah. No. All right. We'll do it now. Whose turn is it?
They played. They got the yell.
Okay.
And they have.
You play.
No.
No. You want to invest?
Do you want to invest in something?
We want to build our energy research studio.
You want to build a research.
We want to build our energy research studio. Yes.
Because you have energy. Yeah.
Okay. So energy research studio. Every time you play it, is going to give you. Is going to cost you 1 white, because you have to pay people, personnel, and stuff. It means that you have a chance of every time you can create an invention. You say, I want to invent a windmill that gives more energy, and you have a chance to get this of plus 30%. So whatever thing you want to invent, you have 30% chance more when you use it. So it works like that. You tell, I want to invent a car that goes with water.
Yeah.
Now we have a short discussion. I say, okay, it's possible, a car that goes with water, you have 10% of chance to invent it. Because you have a research center, that 10% becomes 40%. So when you throw the dice, you have the percent dice. If you make more than 60, so 70, 80, 90, and 00, you manage to invent that thing. From that moment, on this table, in this cosmos, a car that goes with water exists.
Yeah.
Okay? So every time you want to invent something, you can use this.
研发成功率，小鱼你可以再讲一下吗？
就是 假设你要，比如说发明一个可以在水上开的车，假设实际上它的常规的发明可能性只有10%，但是因为你有一个研究中心，所以你的这个提高率可以超过30%，就是可以到40%，可以加30%。所以当他就扔骰子的时候，扔到一个
是什么一个数？
一个超过7和00跟多少
We didn't quite understand the probability dice.
Okay, it's simple. If you have never played Dungeons and Dragons, I explain to you. This is a dice that has 10 sides. So let's say that we decide you have a chance of 50%. That something happens. When you throw the dice says 90. 90 is more than 50, so it passed. If it was 80%, I had to make 80 or 90 or 0, right? To pass this chance. So this is a simple way to have an event, simulate an event, so one act of probability that has a known chance of success. The chance of success in this case is decided by the master. It could be that we are playing in a scenario that we want to be very precise, and we have some tables that says the chance of this event to happen is 30%. Let's see if it happens. And we simulate, and we can construct a whole simulation like this. So, what would you like to do with your shop? First sell stuff, I guess. So, this. You take 6. Ah, we have a very successful shop here. She's selling vintage stuff. She buys very cheap vintage stuff that people want to throw away and resell it with a high income. Only problem, she's not on the grid so far. Do you want to stay off the grid?
And I want to develop the function of renovating things.
So sort of tailor that you can adjust the stuff.
Yes.
Okay, you make a lab. Lab for textile renovation. Every time this costs another white, I would say, but also gives, multiplies that for, gives another dice, I would say, 1d6. So now you have the shop, and people that comes to the shop can also decide, can you please adjust this thing that I bought? And she charges also for that, so brings more business. Okay, so that we have. It costs you just another white.
Yeah.
I would say. Am I being too good? No, if you think I'm being too good, raise your hand. No. You see? They're very much, they like this master very much. Please, what would you like?
3.
No, first you give me this if you want to throw the dice. 3. So you made, the school have made 3, got some money because it's processing. All your children are very happy, apparently. And now you throw the dice and see if it burns some black. So if some of the children are very enlightened, but I have to oblige you to put your school on the grid, because a school without toilets has never been seen so far. It's a very dangerous thing to do.
10.
So you do 10, so he is actually 10% is lower than 60%. So it didn't happen. So you have not burned anything.
Okay. And
your pupils are very stupid. Apparently.
Can I do more?
Yeah, you can invest, of course.
I want to build another building. Can I?
You need to buy first another piece of land.
I got. So I want to buy another piece of land.
Okay, to buy the piece of land, now we establish what is the price. So we throw a dice of 8. And we see how much is going to be.
Yeah.
Let's see if you can buy a piece of land.
Okay.
How much? 7. In this moment, the price of land is sky high.
Yeah.
So I don't think you don't have enough money.
So?
So nothing. You tried, and you tried. You spend a lot of time to try to look if you could buy another piece of land, but you discover you cannot afford it.
Can he loan money from you?
He can try. He has to make a very convincing story.
Borrow money from somebody else.
Can also ask somebody else if you want. All this negotiation you can have while I continue playing. This time we move. Also, we have to throw the wheel.
Okay.
So you have thrown the wheel. Let's have you throw the wheel. Yes. You give a.
刚刚你如果没钱，你随时可以跟别人协商，看要不要借你钱，或是你要卖什么东西去跟他做交易。
Aha! This is invention. So it means you have the chance, extra chance, to produce an invention. So now, when I will arrive to your turn, you can also invent something. Tell me, I want to invent a system to extract gold from electronics that is very efficient. And I tell you, you have a certain type of probability to do so, and then if you manage, the system exists. So think what you would like to invent. I start from you first.
Okay, invention? My invention is a new subspecies of tea.
Yeah?
Smells nice and tastes good.
So, listen guys, we have a biohacking facility in the tea farm. The biohacking facility is trying to invent a species of tea that we would call the happy tea. And a happy tea is going to have some very, very good flavor and very good thing. So I would say that with this expertise, Professor, you have 60% of chance of success. 70. Aha! No, unfortunately. No, yes. 70%. He manages to create a happy tea. So happy tea is fundamentally a tea that makes you happy. Tea. The government has still not found that it's a drug, so it's legal. And you can throw one extra D6 for it. Plus you get, because you have put a new species in it, I think you get 1 good point karma, so you can throw a dice of 6 of black that goes away. 3. So I get 3 blacks. 3 blacks, they don't go in the local pot. It's not that he's thrown bad karma in the environment, but they go back to the world, to the universe in this case. So it started to get clear how it works. For example, when you say, okay, I'm going to invent a religion. No? I invent a religion and you get your black away, but it stays in the environment somehow. It has to be processed, so it goes there. Good. Next.
We want to invent telephone and this magical experiment.
They want to invent a mechanical exoskeleton in the telephone.
Use telephone control.
Okay. Perfetto. So they want to invent a way to control an exoskeleton with the telephone.
Yes, we can use the telephone to control mechanical
exoskeleton.
experiment.
Okay. So it's a technological improvement that I don't know exactly what they want it for, but that's we'll find out, that they will try to invent. So they spend a lot of time, a lot of nights, sleepless, to try to invent this thing. So I would say it cost you a lot of effort, but you have a high chance to manage. So if you make more than 60%, I mean, you have 60% of chance to invent the exoskeleton.
扔一下骰子，超过60你就成功。
40. No, you don't manage, so you lose 2 whites and you don't invent the exoskeleton. But you still can throw this. So you give me this. You take this 2, and you can throw. And you can throw the dice of 6. So you throw this dice. Throw it twice, yes. 6, another time. You can throw 2 times. Throw another time the dice. Electronics makes a lot of money. And now throw 1 time to see how much black goes away. 3.
对，按道理是。
Huh?
他不是准备要收税吗？
Good. Thank you very much.
Maybe we forgot one thing.
What?
The basic income. Every turn.
Yes, we forgot the basic income. You're right. Thank you for reminding me. So please, no, I throw it.
We're hungry.
Everybody's hungry. Yeah, but this is the second round. So from next round you get taxes as well.
So every round the basic income is reduced at the front for the dice. Okay.
And I also was very unlucky with it.
天上掉钱了。对，刚刚没掉那么多。
Ragazzi, I'm a little bit tired, sorry about that. So, you got your basic income, you're full of money. From this round on, we're going to have taxes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Your turn. Your turn.
I don't know. Hey, what happened was...
So, 2. So, okay.
So
Your small garden takes 1, produces 1,
yeah.
and you get 2.
And then the second die is activated, right? Because in the last round in the parliament.
Yes.
We propose that if the first dice passes 2, we could help everyone to burn the...
Yeah, but it passes 2, not makes 2. You made 2, so it didn't work.
Well, equal, no, we didn't say clearly. Okay. So this 2 is determined by...
Yeah.
So it has to be 3.
It has to be 3 at least, and then you can also burn black. Next.
Oh, sorry, we can still...
Yeah.
Well, so far we don't have anything that help us to distribute our food.
They have a
Yes, but they are not collaborating with us. Can we collaborate?
Of course.
Yeah.
But is it on our cost for this project or?
Well, I mean, propose something. How would you do it in reality? They have means to distribute your food.
你们愿不愿意合作？我们想说我们形成一个交通系统，然后呢，我们想借用你们准备这个，你们现在不是电车吗？借你们的这个运输系统，然后我们可以然后可以
and to increase their income.
Yeah.
对，分配给大家。
对啊，我们就是为了现在其实就是。
对，不，主要是现在大家都不用吃，我感觉。Sorry, so we thought maybe we provide a transportation system to distribute our food. Since everyone seems like superhuman beings at the moment right now, but we collaborate with the e-car.
Yeah.
So we have a distribution.
So I would say, because you pass to green energy to distribute your food, you will not have to take one black anymore from your thing. So let's say you contributing this, you don't get the black, and you can add the subsidy from the state of using green energy. So you will get one white more every time they use it. What do you think? Is that possible? Is that clear?
We got one extra one, or
no?
Yeah.
Well, look,
each
very
of us
simple.
get extra one.
Every time you use your fruit garden, you don't have anymore the black to take.
Okay.
Because you use clean energy to move your vegetables around. Okay. And they have an extra income due to general law about using green energy. So they will get the one dice plus one.
Oh, they get extra one.
Yeah. So I'm going to write it down so we remember. Write down on electric cars, 1 die 6 plus 1. Now, your turn.
So, pray to the God.
But not really. We were really dependent on policy.
So you have to give me 2.
Wind turbine.
And you got 4. What would you like to do?
Yeah, wind turbines.
Wind turbines. Mamma mia, it's a wind farm. So you want to put up a wind turbine. Wind turbine exists. We said in the beginning that this game, more or less, everything that exists, so you can do it. It will cost you, gives plus 1d6.
Okay, maybe
wind turbine. And this.
他们只有一块地，但有3栋房子。
Sorry, Federico. They actually just keep on innovating on their own the current technology, but they only have one piece of land, so they are all just upgrades.
Ah, okay. Yeah, okay. It's possible. I think it's possible. Yes.
Yeah.
So wind turbine.
They are all for this, because you didn't also buy a land for this.
Yeah.
According to the judge, in a way, he's the lawyer.
Wind turbine. Let's say it will cost you 3 white to make and produce 1d6. No, there's no necessity because the wind turbine is something they build on the land. The car goes around and charges just the car. And the other thing is just a plus 30% in invention. Because they also in the house, they all this kind of research center. So I would say everything can stay on one piece of land. So they don't need to buy another one. Please.
因为你的车不算是占地方。
结束了吗？你们结束了啊？你们好。Wow.
Another 6. Okay, guys, the shop is going fantastic. You have to throw another dice another time. This was for the shop, but you also have the laboratory. So you throw another one.
Wow, get another 6.
4, 3, 7, 8, 9 e 10. So you get 10. You have a lot of white. What do you want to invest into?
Could I call
assembly?
No, the assembly is in place of. Yes. No, sorry. You can call assembly. Yes.
我能不能就是比如说 把某个人的黑色的一个纸转成我的一个白色纸，因为我可以帮他们调整机器啊什么的，修复翻新。啊。
你的这第二个是什么？
就是修复和翻新。
哦。
那你的第一个是什么？
第一个是那个二手店。
So what she proposed is because she had this repair and renovating workshop. 有什么条件吗？
就是把别人的一个黑子。
但是当时什么时候才会发生这个事情？
没有。
任何时候。
每一轮。
就是每一轮啊。Every time she uses the thing, she can take a decrease of one black one for everyone, or for one person.
One person.
For one person, and gain one white one for herself in return.
Okay. Let's say what she's proposing the assembly is a law that is valid for everybody. That whenever you manage to find a way to burn a black, you can burn a black to anybody and earn a white. But you have to have some, let's say, way to do it. In her case, she has one, is the fact that she uses vintage stuff. So she reuses. There is no need of new material. She uses old material. So she could do it. But this is a law that is valid for everybody. So if you do things that burn black, you also earn a white. That's the law that she wants to pass. Now, as an assembly, are you favorable? Raise your hand. Are you against? Raise your hand. Who is favorable?
Oh, hold on. I think we have to translate that one first.
Sorry, please translate.
就是等同于他的这个法案的，就是刚才说的这个因为他可以用二手的东西来修东西，然后呢，就是每次他使用这个的时候，就其中可以决定其中一个人烧掉这个，烧掉一个，对，烧掉一个，然后就他自己再赚到一个白色的，但是对我们现在要通过这些，你怎么决定谁？
就是掷骰子，骰到是哪个？
就是这边是一，这边是She just wanted to add that the chances, because it's only one person, so she can roll a dice, and that dice determines which one of us decreases the black.
Okay, that's okay.
She didn't mean everyone. She meant one of us.
Yeah, one of us. No, that I understood. But you can do with the dice, so you can also say him.
Okay. 你也可以。
It's your energy, your choice. Okay. So, who votes for? Raise his hand.
就是同意 agree, raise your hand.
So the law passes unanimity. Applause. So now there is this law. What I do usually is to have a block notice on which I write all the laws that passes. Actually, it's to be noted that I have this block that goes with the board. So you can also play 4 or 5 games and have the laws brought from one game to the other. So if you play 2 tables, the rules of the game might diverge. This is very interesting for observation. So if you play, for example, with a real community that wants to play a bit their own economy and start to see what are the transactions that they want to create, you start to see what they like to do. And at the end of the day, you also have trained them to make accountancy with complementary currencies that model different stuff. Imagine that you want to have, for example, also a representation of intellectual property or ideas. We have now put the rule of invention, but I also tried with the money for invention, that instead of burning the black, you might have also the red. And red, every time you invent something new, you can have a sum in red, and so on and so forth. This means you can really model very interesting things and have a discourse initiated with very different people without explaining anything but the rules of the game. This is a bit the scope. We go on another round. We have still another half an hour of time.
Okay.
Are you okay to go another round?
Yeah.
Good. Are you not bored?
Just started.
Okay. Yeah, I know. So. No, sorry. Sorry. Excuse me.
So I don't want to buy land anymore. I just want to develop this school to a school of Buddhism.
A school of is turning into religion.
Throw the dice first.
Yeah.
5. So, when an institution starts to be rich, as you see, they start to have strange ideas. When they are rich, they want to have religion. Okay, school of Buddhism.
Okay.
At least it's not Catholicism. We can. Sorry for jokes. You forgive me. So, a school of what would, in your opinion, a school that transforms to a religious school would gain or lose, in your opinion? I don't know.
That's a very good question. That's a very good question.
Well, maybe we'll attract more people. I don't know.
What did we do for the happy team?
For the happy team. Well, the happy team now exists, so there is more happy people around.
So we need a religion just to happy team, right?
Would Buddhist religion would make people happier, in your opinion? I don't know. Let's say, if you think it make people happier, raise your hand. 1, 2. If you think that the people gets sadder, raise your hand. No. So, slightly happier. Okay. I would say that a Buddhist school, I would say, first of all, I allow you to do that, but only in nighttime. So it's a serial school. So it still has the normal school and also Buddhist school on top. The Buddhist school on top, let's say, because you teach also, you can start teaching also meditation, all this kind of cool stuff. I would say that you can have one dice of 3, so half of a dice of 6, of white, and every time it costs you a black.
And then I should throw this.
Yeah.
Not this one.
No, this is the percentage one.
Percentage.
This.
Okay. 6 or 90?
90. So you really didn't manage. It was really didn't work. Terrible.
So how many
horror.
should be?
So.
And for everyone, right? Or?
No. I don't remember anymore. What have we said?
But he did manage, right? He only needs 60% to have a.
But he did 90.
And he rolled 90. That means he succeeded.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We do in opposite way. You're right. So he succeeded. So okay, he succeeded, and so you get 60% more. No, 60%. How was it, this rule? I don't remember anymore.
I think all the percentage was determined of success rate, right?
Yeah.
Yes, but what happens if
happen a decrease?
the black.
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody gives a black away.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
You're like a karma machine.
Yeah, because schools are karma machines. I mean, you build a school, you have a chance that at a certain point.
We need a permanent 6.
Why to the local?
Because if it was pollution, let's say, you enhance the zeitgeist but stays on the land. Instead, if it's like carbon, for example, I'll make you an example. We're going to Helsinki next week to play the game with a community that wants to build a system with alternative currency to model the growth of hemp. Now, in Finland, they have this thing that they grow a lot of forest, and forest fixes CO2 in the land. Now, I learned by them that not only with hemp you have medicinal marijuana, you have dresses you can put to people, etc., fiber, but you also fix a lot of CO2. Actually, for every hectare, 100 by 100 by 100 meters of forest, you fix 4 tons a year of CO2. With hemp, you fix 12, so 3 times more. Now, they want to play this scenario also to understand if it's more sustainable or it's worthwhile to create an alternative currency with the wallet that will allow them to sell CO2 dump, not only, and with that finance, for example, the seeds, the work, etc. This is one of the ways we're going to use the game. To start to make these stories emerge and try to simulate if it's a good idea or not. Then we see it and we start designing it. So, please.
Think, in this turn, I think every player has a chance for the invention.
Yes.
But only 2. I use the chance and you use the chance. Do you use the chance for the invention?
Does it apply for everyone? I thought it only
Everyone,
applies
everyone
for
has a chance. For
No.
Everyone.
No. The invention was from the wheel.
Okay, and that wheel means everyone gets to invent something.
No. Was for him. Yes.
Okay, only for him.
Okay.
Because in the first 3 or 4 rounds, I used this only once for round. So it was first him, then you, then you. If you want to have more chaotic game, that people is very shy and you want to make more things happen, you just use it more often. It can also be used just by the master. So the master, every turn, I say, okay, every now and then I throw it, and something else happens that diverge a bit from being used to just the economy. Because life is not only economy. In the list of things that can happen, we have a certain amount of events that I planned. If you have to prepare a game for people, you prepare events that make them fun, but also that can be relevant to the situation you want to model. For example, here we have stuff like a meteorite hits the Earth, the game is over. Or they want to build a highway, so there is a chance that your land is on the highway. And these are for the grand jeu, so the big game. From the little game, there are things like party or invent or other stuff that you can do globally. As you see, I try to make a game that is very easy to customize and model stuff that happens in a relationship of transaction. And you can do transaction with the local bank, with the big bank, or between yourself. And you can also construct models of circular economy, because you can also construct a relationship, for example, between your black and somebody that needs it. I make another example. Sometimes people want to make a brewery, and a brewery produces a certain amount of organic waste. That organic waste can go into a compost. So I can create a circular economy between the compost of the garden, the takeout of the brewery, the waste of the brewery, and for example, biogas. Somebody creates biogas, and we can create this connection simply with a piece of Play-Doh over things like this. I make like this, and I make this and this are connected, and something is passing. So it's rather easy to simulate with these few things a lot of relations in this little word. So that's it. Let's make another round, just to make another round. Then we have a little bit of moment of evaluation. Huh?
We produce.
Yeah, we produce. Now everyone white here.
They have to try this.
This is a percent. This is very Chinese.
Yep.
Should we give it out when we get when they get text?
No. 60.
We should take those to the universe.
Yeah.
他刚才没有说下一步，他只是说这个游戏。
And you have to throw twice the dice of 6. So another time. So, just one moment of attention. They did their turn. The Happy Tea is very successful. They made a lot of money, so they are ready probably to invest. They could make a lot of money. Plus, they managed also to consume some black, so some black went back here. They got 2 black that went back to the universe. So I would say this Happy Tea was a good invention so far. This of the happiness is a component of the game that is rather interesting, because actually if you start to model happiness in the game, you are also, let's say, opening a discussion about what is to be happy. One of the things that are here is enjoy, so make a party, do some activities that make you leisure, and burn black. And of course, it's a very important part of communal life, if you want to construct a community, to have ways to celebrate. And in all manuals of community building is celebrate festivities, festivals, gathering, food, eating together. It's important and can be also included in transactions. Transaction of waste that goes away, for example, stress. Stress is a sort of equivalent of pollution. If people is very stressed, they feel sick much more often. And actually, if you call an expert, he will give you exactly the chance that you fall sick in correlation to the fact you're stressed. So you could also, if that's the topic you want to investigate, you can also simulate it. You have to understand that if you put around the table, let's say the manager of a hospital, somebody from the staff, somebody from the medical staff, a couple patients, and a designer, and you want to make them talk about the possibilities of implementing alternative currency in their system, in a way that is similar to this, you manage not only to understand what is the value system, but while you understand it in 2 hours of game, you also make sure that everybody as part of this construction of language, so that they start to talk and think in terms already of transactions. And this is all stuff that Aspasia, that looks over my shoulder, can start to put into her notes. So then, when we finish to play here, we go on the whiteboard and we start to write a relationship and transaction. We are already thinking in the same language. And when we are going to design a system, the people from the medical, from the staff, from the patients, the authorities, etc., they will start to think in a language that they know, and they had fun together, so they know a little bit each other. It's much better. This is what we call bottom-up type of approach. You involve first. This involvement is done in first person, so you start to have a name, a person, a story. All these stories combined together create what is called a narrative, so a narration of the project, a story of the project. no? And is written with a language that then will become much more difficult and complex of this, but to which everybody has a sort of awareness and ownership. This is very important. If you want to create a community, you have to first listen and observe. Second, in my opinion, construct a common language. And third, start to calculate. Start to calculate is not only say, okay, value is money and I'm going to be judged in terms of money, but also, yeah, there is stress and bad impact, bad karma. Sometimes somebody on the table starts to simulate a criminal. If you want to play criminal, you can. You tell me, I want to rob him. I will decide what is the chance you're going to. I will probably ask you how, and you will tell me a story. He will be very angry, but nevertheless, we try. I give you a percentage of 30% of success. You manage to steal from him 1 dice or 2 dice of money, or everything, because you had a very good idea. And then I will throw a dice to see if they catch you. Right? So I can simulate an enormous amount of ideas on the table that can materialize. This is very important because the game is very simple in the rules, but you see, allows, because it's simple, to have a lot of different type of behaviors. And as so on and so forth, as we play, we start to have an idea if our tactics create a little bit of a sustainable environment or not. Now, we played the last round. I had told you that at this point arrived taxes. Because the local government is so happy you did so good. Everybody's, it's probably a good idea to give free land to people because they like it and they have, you are making a lot of money. You're not augmenting too much the pollution. Actually, you found all ways to burn pollution, or tried, so the balance is more white than black here. So the system is going nice. And me, as a government, I can start to say, I tax. Now, I could tax in various ways. I could say, the tax is done by the local, this goes in the local pot, or goes in the government pot. I would say that the tax, if it's a centralized system, should go in the big pot, but we can have a discussion. What do you think? Second thing that we can discuss, for example, is if the taxes correspond to also a tax of black. For example, sometimes the government sends if a place is not polluted, maybe it's good to hide pollution in there. So, for example, sends you a lot of tourists. Tourists are usually very stressed people that put money in your system, but also bring some money, but also they bring stress. Your city doesn't look like it's your city anymore. A little bit of tourists, it's nice. In Amsterdam, we have problem because we have very big tourism. And there is always drunken people all the time making parties under your house. So you see, there is a lot of things that can be experimented, twisting kind of small, simple causes in the game. So, we put a tax that I would propose that is a tax that goes to the general government that helped you in the beginning with founding and giving you land for free. And actually, the state is a little bit upset that you have not invested in more land. The place is still a little bit too little. So yeah, it's going good, but also want to increase your proposal. So you say is not going to make a tax on the amount of land you own, because it wants you to encourage you to have more land. Puts the tax on existence in life. So a tax on the head. So every time you play, you will be paying exactly, you lucky, 1 white to live. Okay? So everybody 1 white.
We are not on the grid. We are not on the grid.
No. Who is not on the grid doesn't have to pay. No. It's on the head. This.
But
Sorry.
Can we benefit something from not pay something from not being on the grid and still paying for everyone's food? Or producing people's food?
Not now.
Okay.
You have to propose a law.
Okay.
So who needs to give me still the white? You.
So we have to propose a legislation. We have to propose a legislation.
Who still have not paid the taxes here?
That someone should do something.
But you put it in here.
Either them dying or us.
So these taxes goes to central government, not to your local government. Good. Please. You can do whatever. You did already.
Yeah.
You.
Your turn.
Your turn.
Sorry, there's
Can
also
we create something?
money.
Sorry.
Can we create something?
Yeah. First, throw the dice. So.
Basic salary.
And throw the dice. 3. You have to throw twice. Another time.
6.
Okay. And now you have to throw 1 dice for the black.
What happened?
We can kill him now.
Can we help other people reduce one?
The other black that you don't have, you can take 1 from anybody.
Who can one reduce one? Can I reduce one and help other people reduce one?
Yeah, you choose which black you want and you can burn it.
所以他现在减掉一个黑的。
那这里啊，这里。
那就这。
你那个上面是什么？
就是二手店，有一个。
就我现在还可以帮一个人减掉一个黑的。
你可以决定，
你自己决定吧。
然后他们是食物。
那这个。
上帝决定的。
撞个骰是吧？撞到谁？
那可以合作的地
方。
No.
那就是你减一个。
Okay.
Can we reduce some?
You can invest, yes.
Invest or buy land to more building.
Invest.
Okay, you want?
对，我可以去。
应该买个地吧。
What would you like?
一个律师事务所。
Lawyer.
Law studio.
Yes. Lawyer 事务所怎么讲
Okay. You have a law firm. Okay, the law firm, every time you use it, you produce 2 black because you make people very angry with law. Lawyers all the time. And you need to use 1 white, but it gives you 1 dice of 6 more of money. Oh, that's your law firm. You guys.
So we take out our infrastructure.
Yeah.
6.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
So you can help us to burn the
Yeah, we can take 1 black out of everyone because our and 2 for ourselves.
She has no black, so it's okay.
Crazy rich.
This is black, and he doesn't have any black, so
we should do a congress meeting.
A congress meeting.
What was this? What was the term? Assembly. That's right.
Assembly.
Yeah.
Assembly.
So we want to do an assembly.
All right.
Yes. It seems like this community is very happy, but a little bit surreal, because we are almost producing zero waste. People are earning a lot of money.
Yep.
Without eating anything. Yeah. So this is going very highly efficient.
Yeah.
But we wanted to make it a little bit more real.
Yeah. It's definitely not an Italian community.
Not an Italian. I think the government has a lot of waste hidden.
Exactly.
So we want to propose something to do with, let's say, I don't know exactly, I'm horrible in calculating, but something to do with while everyone, maybe everyone has a choice. Well, it's a choice, it's not an assembly thing, but we can talk about this. Maybe we all co-work together to do the farming. So in fact, you can all eat because you contribute to a pond, and it just kind of consumes a certain amount every round, or we do the.
Okay, I understood.
Something like that.
Let me summarize. Okay. You want to make a kibbutz.
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 Kibbutz. In Israel, right?
Commune.
Like a commune land ownership. So what you propose is you propose to the government to give you a certain amount of land to use for common growth of food. So let's say that the government would, if the law passes, the local government would put one land for everyone. So you are six pieces of land that would be on the grid for no cost for common development, so that you could develop it in agricultural way, the way you like. This is the proposal of law. Would it fit your proposal, more or less?
Yes, but maybe it should consume some of their currency, whatever the time
Yes.
is.
Let's say that if this goes okay, the cost of to develop, you put, let's say, a certain amount in the pot that is going to be used to develop this land. So the cost of developing this land will not be paid directly by you, but by the pot.
Okay.
Like a cooperative.
Okay. And where does the pot money come from? The government?
The pot money will be put by the collective. Yes.
Okay.
So what do you think?
Agree.
Okay,
let's say who agrees, raise his hand.
Sorry, can we just add one thing? So
Yep.
could we volunteer to be the manager and be free from putting in something in the pot?
I think this is another law.
Okay.
Yeah. We can pass one law at a time. Well, try with the first. So if you agree, raise your hand. We have 2, 4, 5. Okay, we have almost consensus. So let's say just you got a majority. So we would say we have our 6 pieces of land for this new commune. And we also say that you have to put in the pot 2 whites for each. So 2, and 2, and the 2, and we put the pot here like this. This is, we created practically a common bank.
Special fund.
In the special, with the special fund in here. Eh?
Mini pot.
It's a mini pot. I think you should be proud. It looks very good. Looks very good. So, we have this communal development as a cooperative. Good. Please. Yeah. You have to give me, if you want to use it, you have to give me the appropriate amount of white. 3. So you win 3, and you have to pay me 1 white. Yep.
Maybe we don't want to be larger our 产业.
We don't want to invent.
Yeah.
Okay.
We want our 我们的参与者 partners go and study Buddhism. So yes, so maybe we can burn
1 black because you go to study Buddhism. Since when religion cleans karma? Oh fuck, it does. Ah, shit.
Maybe because we have less transportation and so.
Yes, plus you know where you're going to go when you die. It's fantastico.
Buddhism is.
Lots of less stress. So what do you think? You accept these pupils?
Yes.
Okay, so give me the black.
1 or 2?
One.
Only if they learn more new technology or something like that. People forgot about your original school.
Yeah.
Your turn. 6. The only thing that is certain is that this little shop rocks. Really rocks.
I want to assign our staffs to study technical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this is a technical school. Yeah.
And
It's a technical school.
Pay rule 2 white, and every time if my staffs learn something, I think we should earn more white.
Yes.
Every term. Yeah.
Okay, that's a possibility. So I would say like this. Listen if it suits you. Let's say that you want to elaborate your vintage shop and laboratory of textile reparation into a sort of textile research lab. So for new textiles, reactive stuff, you know, like a makerspace that does textile. And for doing that, she makes a deal with the school. So I would say that you have a deal. And this deal implies that, yeah, you pay him too, he pays the school, but yeah, every time there is something new invented, yeah, okay, I think it's fine. I just put this as a link between you two.
Okay.
At the end, yes, it's going to be something like that. Okay, but because you have this collaboration, I also would say that you give me a little piece of orange, and I would put that your school now is sponsored by the... So this reminds us this thing. So, and so on and so forth. Now, unfortunately, we don't have time to make another round because we almost gone. But I mean, I will leave everything like this because so
actually I want to call assembly and held a festival.
a Buddhist festival.
Yeah. So everyone got into meditation, and something happened. So use this, and something happened.
So you want to make something happen?
Yeah.
Do we take some of the happy tea?
So
You got invent, yes, you can invent something. My God, this game is getting out of my hands.
And so I should throw the dice?
Yeah, but what do you want to invent first?
Oh, invent, not event. Okay.
Need an event something.
A new religion, maybe. I don't know. Just a suggestion.
Yeah. Maybe I can give the chance to Professor Forrest. Yeah, young Forrest. Yeah.
To invent something.
Yes.
Okay. He is giving you the chance to invent something. Because he likes the happy tea.
Yeah.
Likes the happy tea. He said, okay, this biolab is really working good. So he's paying for your invention.
So I will invent a new process, a method of making tea, which is very ecological conscious.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So it's a tea that is ecological conscious. Okay, a new procedure to create tea that actually uses everything that is thrown away and puts it in I don't know what and makes I don't know what and is ecologically okay. So, but you already have no black. Okay, because you do that, you can throw one dice of 3, add it there. That is going to burn away the black from the collective black. Yeah. So you make 2, and so it means that 2 from the big pot evaporates and go back into the big pot. So I would like to make conclusions. So let's see if I can recapitulate what happened in this game. So we had a very happy community that started to develop this land. It's a community that in the beginning was a little bit shy, but then became to collaborate a lot between yourself and used legislation in a nice way. We had the state that founded you a bit, but not too much. You did very well. There is a lot of white, I was saying also before. We have a promising cooperative that still has not constructed anything, but has resources to do so, and is owned by everybody. So I think it's almost a socialist system. Almost. For at least there is cooperativism. We have good hopes that the biolab is going to create more and more variety of tea and ways to consume the waste. We have also a useful use of Buddhist meditation. The most incredible thing is that recycling with the vintage concept and Textile Lab, recycling all the stuff that comes from who knows where, she manages to make a lot of money. So we have somebody that has money, but also the electric shop, having combined the electrical innovation with recycling of old electronics, is actually managing not to pollute and has quite a lot of money. The small farmer here, represented by the not very financial active small farmers, have still gave a lot of contribution to the community, inventing a lot and proposing a lot of laws that have been implemented so far with success. So even if they have a very little economy, they contributed a lot to the community. We also have to say that the transportation system, having collaborated happily with food production, is flourishing good enough. There is not too much black. It's completely electric, so it doesn't pollute too much. And they also have put up their own system to create the energy with a wind turbine. So they're going towards a closed circuit economy. As you see, there are many ideas of circular economy in this table. So I would say that is successful so far, successful. Of course, if a meteorite hits the Earth, we're doomed. But so far, so good. A round of applause to all of you. I think you deserve it. And thank you very much for playing into the game. You will find all the instructions and plan to laser cut the board, etc. on legranger.net. So you please feel happy to replicate it, play it. Let me know if it happens that you played, how it went, if you had fun, if it was useful. And many thanks I have to say also to Raffaella, that is the co-designer, and she was very, very instrumental, very good in making a game that is very playable, but also very simple in the rules. So I'm very thankful to Raffaella, and I want to say it. Thank you very much for playing. Now I make a little picture for my documentation. Please, all the players all together, let's send Raffaella a picture. So, Ella, thank you very much. Arigato arimasu.